This is a Bishop of Llandaff's numeracy support video on how to double and halve numbers quickly. Our students find some of these questions very easy. 341, for instance, times by 2, and they can tell the answer straight away, is 682. That is because this time this question works very nicely that you can double the 3, double the 4, and double the 1, and it gives you 682. This one, however, isn't quite as simple. If I double each component and I get 8, 12 and 16, then we can quite clearly see that 468 times by 2 isn't 81,216. The mistake that is made when doing this trick here is that this isn't really a 3. This is really 300, 40 and 1. This one here is 400, 60 and 8. So if I look at actually splitting those up into their hundreds, tens and units, so 300, 40 and 1, if I double those components individually, so I get 600, 80 and 2, and now I put those all back together to make 682, you can see why that trick works. But the best thing is, it also works for this question here. So if I split it into its components of 400, 60 and 8, and I double those, I get 800, 120 and 16. When I put those back together, I get 800 plus 120 is 920, add the 16 is 936. The same can be done with dividing. Again, the question on the left here, our students find easy. They can halve each individual number and get 4, 3, 1. Here, however, if you halve the 5, we get 2.5, the 3 we get 1.5, and the 1 we get 0.5. None of those work nicely. So although the trick works here, it doesn't work every single time. If you use the technique of separating into its components or partitioning, so we get 860 and 2 separately, half of 800 is 400, half of 60 is 30, and half of 2 is 1, then put them back together, you can see why that trick works. But similarly, it works for this question here. So if we have 500 and 30 and 1, half of 500 is 250, half of 30 is 15, and half of 1 is 0.5. Put those back together and we get 265.5.